Hello there. Hello, and welcome. I'm Lee Cara. This is Unleash Your Light. Okay, so the topic that I put in the title today, and the thing that I want to talk to you guys about is how are forgiveness and manifestation connected? How are they related to each other? Now, these two things may not sound like they're connected. When we think about manifestation, we think about how we are creating reality with our own mind. We are, visualizing and bringing the future in. And then when we go over and we think about forgiveness, we're more connected with, we're trying to forgive someone who hurt us. We're trying to find peace within ourselves. We're trying to not carry that peace around. Okay, so I do these live meetups. I hope that where you are living that you will start doing live meetups. That's not what the topic is, but you would be surprised how many people are in your area that are like-minded. You never know until you put it out there into the universe and create one of these little, meetup groups. So I was discussing going back with your family, and this person relayed a situation where people in her family had done her wrong, had spoken about her behind her back, had had arguments, had had all this kind of stuff, right? And she was saying, I've worked really hard to be okay with this and to accept what they were giving me and to just be okay with the way that they are speaking about me or what they did about me. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to go into the room with them or how it's going to work out when I actually get there. Okay. And I suggested that just being okay exactly be the best way to serve you, that there needs to be actual forgiveness behind that. There needs to be that empathy and that understanding that what they're doing is not about you, that what they're doing, although it may have something to do with you and taking your own accountability, all these kind of things. And the person said to me, I don't understand why I should have to forgive someone who doesn't want to be forgiven. They're just words anyways. They're just words anyways. Why does it matter? And that struck me in such a deep way that when I'm saying forgiveness to someone, that their interpretation of it is they're just words. Why does it matter anyways? Hi, Mark, welcome. Now, those of you who are in the spiritual community, you know that they're more than words. You know that behind forgiveness has to be emotion, intention, unconditional love. And yet this person was more content and more at peace with accepting that those people are assholes than actually having forgiveness with them. I'm okay with the fact that they're assholes and horrible people. I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that. And this is a space that we find ourselves in often in the spiritual community, because we often insist that it's okay just to be at peace with something rather than to actually have forgiveness. Because when you step into the world of forgiveness, you have to have accountability for your own actions. Sometimes you have to recognize that you did do something to be an asshole. I want to recall a conversation. You can't take it personally when someone gets mad at you, but it is all about you. So them getting mad and the way that they react is often about their own issues. Hi, Georgia. But we also have to take accountability for the things that we do. So if someone's pointing their finger at you and saying you're an asshole, sometimes you might have to kind of go, oh, am I an asshole? Was I an asshole? Did I actually do something? Like, you might be an asshole. And yet here in the spiritual community, we have this space where we think that we have the high ground. We think that we are in the position where what we do and what we say is untouchable. And the way that I am presenting this, or the way that I am approaching this situation, I did nothing wrong. There's nothing at all that had anything to do with me, right? And yet everything has something to do with us because it's all about us. And yet nothing is about us. That's that duality of both sides, right? So when it comes to our family and it comes to that forgiveness space, we are often better just saying, well, I'm at peace because she's an asshole and I can accept that, than saying, maybe I am too. Maybe I did something too. Maybe I am a part of this. Maybe I have inspired this somehow. Maybe something that I'm doing is also untrue. And this phrase kept popping into my head. Insistence creates resistance. It's cute, right? Insistence creates resistance. When we insist that what we are saying and doing is right, it creates a resistance in us that doesn't allow us to move forward. But it's any belief that is limiting limits you. Anytime they say this is the whole truth and nothing but the truth and there is nothing else, and you take that as truth, then you are stopping your forward progression. You are stopping some of your learning. So in our insistence that we are right and full of love and light, and anyone who doesn't agree with that is wrong, and I'll just be okay with them being assholes, you're creating a space of resistance in your life. Okay? So now we're going to take this to the next space, to the next level. Forgiveness is more than just words, right? It's more than just words. It's more than just, these are things I'm going to say so that I can go and have Thanksgiving dinner. These are things I'm going to say so that I can sound like everything is all right. I'm going to say I'm at peace with the situation and I forgive everyone, but those are just words, because really I'm just deciding to be okay with everyone else being an asshole. But that's not really what forgiveness is about. It's not about the words that you're saying. It's about the emotion. It's about what's behind the words. It is about the feeling and the intention behind the forgiveness. Forgiveness is always for you. It's always for you. So when you decide to be content with just saying, I accept that they're assholes, and not forgive them, you are denying yourself actual peace. You are denying yourself actual connection. And your insistence is creating a resistance between you and the universe, between you and God, between you and the light, whatever you like to call Fred, it doesn't matter. So how does this connect to manifestation, right? How does this connect to that space of manifesting and those affirmations and that law of attraction and all that kind of stuff, right? Because saying the words is not enough. Saying the affirmations is not enough. Saying those things, stating your reality out loud that you want, all of that is not enough to create actual transformation in your life. It's the intention, it's the emotion, it's the conviction behind the words. It is the faith that what you are doing and what you are saying is real. When you say, I forgive you to someone, even in your mind, when I say, I forgive him, I forgive her, you have to have the conviction behind it. You have to have the heart and the emotion behind it. That's why forgiveness is hard. It's easy to throw away apologies. When you're a little kid and you had a fight with someone, the adults would say, okay, now say you're sorry. Sorry. And then you'd go off and play. But you might still be feeling some type of way about that kid that you're now hanging out with, right? You might still hold on to some of that. Now, when we're little, we tend not to hold on to that, but maybe as a teenager, they make you make up, and then you're kind of like, now you're holding on to this. You're not really sorry. You're not really feeling bad for what you did or for how they treated you. You're not really feeling better about it. It is exactly that we are doing in the spiritual community, in our grown-up lives, where we pretend to forgive someone, but we don't really forgive them. You see it a lot on these, reality shows. And yes, reality housewife shows are one of my guilty pleasures, y'all. I find it fascinating, right? You see them make up on the video, on the show. Oh, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. They give each other a hug. Everything is better. And then they get in these interviews afterwards, right? And they're like, well, I said that I forgave her, but I'm not forgetting it. I see you, that sort of a thing, right? So was that really forgiveness from the heart, or were those words that you said just to get along? Were those words that you said just to kind of, okay, well, I have to deal with this person, so I'm going to go ahead and say what I have to say. But really, I'm still holding on to that. Do you do that in your family? Do you find yourself doing that in your life? Where you'll say to someone, yes, I forgive you. Yes, everything is fine. Okay, I'm over what happened. And then, separate from them, you're still spinning on it. You're still talking about it. You're still thinking about it. You're still fixated on it. And you're fixated on how you're right and they're wrong. And I shouldn't have had to apologize. They should have had to apologize to me. Maybe you're stuck in the injustice of it. Insistence creates resistance. Your insistence on holding on to that grudge, on holding on to that pain, on holding on to what the heck is going on between you, creates a blockage in your own heart, in your own life. Forgiveness is more than just words. Your heart needs to be in it. Your intentions need to be behind it. And it's not easy. It's not easy. That's why it's more than just words. It is transformational to let go of these pains, of these grudges, of these old patterns. Because whatever you're forgiving is something that you're supposed to be learning from. And if what you learn is, well, that person is just always going to hurt me, or that person, those people are always going to do that, and I have to be okay with that and find peace. Oh, that's bullshit. That's not how that works. Deciding to have peace with the fact that other people are assholes is not forgiveness. It's not forgiveness. Now, will it serve you in the moment? It might. Will it guarantee that that pattern shows up in your life again? Yes, absolutely. And then you're going to sit around wondering, why does this keep happening to me? Then you're going to sit around trying to figure out what is going on here. Why does this keep happening? Why do I keep running into the same pattern? I forgave them. I don't understand. You didn't forgive. You decided to be okay with feeling like crap. You decided to be okay with not being at peace. You decided that it was easier for you to just basically stop thinking about the situation and stop working on yourself within that situation, rather than actually embracing unconditional love and forgiveness. And that is a difficult space for you to sit in, because you are creating a repeating pattern. And manifestation is the exact same way. You can say affirmations till the cows come home. But if you ignore the resistance that comes up every time you say it, and you don't pay attention to it, and you run right over it with your repetition, your manifestation is useless. Because it is the faith, it is the connection, it is the belief, it is the intention behind the manifestation that actually leads you to creating reality. When you are doing your manifestations, just like when you're forgiving someone, if you just say, I forgive you, and you don't believe it, then it's really not doing you much good. Unless when you say it, you now examine, why don't I believe that? Why can't I forgive that? When you say your manifestations and something pops up that's the opposite, whether it's, I am beautiful, no, you're a cow. I am beautiful, no, you're ugly. I am smart, no, you're an idiot. Whatever it is that pops up after your I am statement in your manifestation and your law of attraction, that is what changes you. It's not the repetition necessarily that is doing the work. It is our recognition of our resistance to those statements. It is our recognition of the resistance within us to the statements we're making of where we want to be and how we want our life to look that are actually the helpful things that transform. If every time you hear, I'm a cow, I'm an idiot, I'm stupid, that'll never happen, you're too dumb, blah, 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 no one will have to love you, whatever it is. If you hear that every time and ignore it and press on with your repetition without examining where that's coming from, you're not making any difference in the world for yourself. You're not making any difference in your heart, except setting up immediate reactions of judgment and self-loathing, of lack of self-acceptance. That's what's happening when you don't examine those things that come up, that resistance. It is in the examination of the resistance that you find the spaces that you need to heal. So if you're saying I am beautiful and you know you're a cow, then you need to figure out, why am I saying I'm a cow? Maybe I don't love myself. If you're saying I have $1 million or I am wealthy beyond my means, and you think, no, you're a poor ass and you will never ever be more than that, or you don't deserve to have da 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 da. That's what you need to dig into, not double down on the I am statements. Those I am statements are things that you already are. Those I am statements are things that already belong to you. You have all the abundance in the world. You have all the beauty in the world. You have all the knowledge in the world that you need to do what it is that you need to do. It is your resistance to those beliefs that keeps it from finding you. Because all of those I am statements are already you. So in our space of trying to manifest, when we pay more attention to the I am statement than we do the resistance to the I am statement, you are literally just paying lip service to those affirmations, to that manifestation. All you're doing is saying the words, like I said about the forgiveness. This woman said, why does it matter whether I forgive them or not? Forgiveness is just words. Is it? Is manifestation just words? Is creation just words? Of course not. All of these things that you want, all of this peace that is within you, all of this divine connection that is there for you, hi Tanya Lee, all of this divine connection is right there, is right there. And the universe is really, really pulling for you to release the resistance, to release those thoughts that keep you out of the cycle of creation. Become the observer of your own thoughts. Pay attention to what you're thinking. Yes, Cindy, it would be great if we had little shot callers that would blast us like that just a little bit. Pay attention to what you are thinking. Pay attention to the resistance. Pay attention to how you feel about a person that is plaguing you, that is having an issue with you, that is hurting you. Hi, Susan. Forgiveness is freedom, Cindy. But true forgiveness. Not this thing that we do in this community of, well, they're over there and I'm over here and I don't have to have anything to do with them and it's okay because they're what they are and they're mean and they're horrible and they're in their pain and that's fine. They could be over there with their pain. And I'm okay with them being that way. You can be okay with them being that way. But to have true transformation, you have to also love them in that space. You also have to forgive them for being the way that they are. And it's not really forgiving them. It's more like letting go of taking it personally when they acted out on you. Because everybody has their own choice. We don't allow someone to do anything. Everyone has their own choice in life. This space of resistance is the transformation hack. That is the transformation hack. These moments of resistance, these moments of blockage, these moments of obstacles where we feel like we can't push forward, where we can't figure out what we're supposed to be doing. That's when you learn. That's when you transform. That's where the most significant changes in your person come through. That's when your connection with divine is giving you a one-on-one primer, a one-on-one lesson in what the heck is going on with you. Hi, Tisha. Those moments of resistance are a gift. Those obstacles are a gift. So when you're doing manifestation, when you're doing affirmations, when you're working the law of attraction, It is the spaces in which you find your resistance that you find your biggest lessons. It is the spaces in the resistance to those affirmation statements that you will find your transformation. It's not an easy thing. It's much easier to ignore it. It's much easier to be okay with it. It's much easier to roll right over those things that pop up. Because nobody likes to look at their own faults. Nobody likes to dig into the things that they've done to hurt others. Nobody likes to look at this stuff. You're not alone. You're not alone in not wanting to do that. Nobody wants to do it. I now find it fascinating. I try to come at it like a science experiment. So I personally do find it fascinating, but often there are things that I don't even recognize are still an issue with me until I'm confronted with someone who pushes those buttons. And I always feel that the universe does that because that's the moment that we need to heal that space. I brought this person into your life to trigger you in this way because you will need the lesson that you learned from this in a month. Because you will need the information that you glean from this interaction in 6 months or in a week or tomorrow. I go into every situation open-minded and open-hearted, even if it's difficult. Because I'm trying to learn. Because I expect the universe to bring me lessons all day long. And it does. And I look at them and I dig into them. I recently had a thing with a friend of mine here. And I really had to dig into this pattern in my life of people leaving. Of me teaming up with people who I want to be teamed up with, and then them backing out. And then them deciding this is not for me. And then I'm left alone. And rather than be mad at them, I'm digging into me. Why is this pattern being shown to me? What is it about me that needed to team up with other people? How can I look at this pattern and use this for my growth, for my transformation? Rather than sitting and just being okay, I'm going to find peace in the fact that these people walked away from me. No. I'm not going to find peace in the fact that other people treated me badly. I'm not going to find peace in the fact that other people walked away. I'm not going to find peace in the fact that everyone else is an asshole. I'm going to forgive. I'm going to dig in and figure out, why did this happen to me? I'm going to look at my own resistance to this situation. What about this makes me want to crawl up and curl into a little ball? What about this makes me want to hide from the world? What about this makes me feel like garbage about myself? I dig into it. I dig into it so that when I forgive, when I release it, it comes from my heart. It comes from my intentions. It comes fully from my soul. And it's not just words. Because that's where the magic is. The magic is filtering everything through your divine essence. The magic is connecting everything with your own growth. When we can feel and see and understand everything through that energy of unconditional love, through that divine God, goddess, light, whatever, the Fred energy, when we can view everything through that and have an understanding in that space, it transforms us as we move into the next section. Because if it's coming to you, then you need it. If it's coming to you, then you need it. If you're in hard times, it's because you need those hard times right now. You are learning something from those hard times. But if all you do is resist the hard times and insist that I am love and light and everything is wonderful and I'm going to get through this without actually digging into the resistance, you're basically throwing away the lesson. You're basically letting go of what you should be learning. Anything that gives us a strong reaction is a moment that we need to look at and is a spot that we need to heal. Any resistance in manifestation, any resistance to an I am statement is a place that we need to spend some time and ask ourselves why. Why am I resisting this? Why does this pop up over and over again? These are the spaces that transform us. These are the moments that transform us. It's not always that sitting on a mountaintop with the light of the sun and feeling the energy through the chakras connecting to your soul. That's beautiful. But you can learn just as much in a knockdown, drag out, screaming fight with someone that you actually dig into as you do sitting on that mountaintop. Because regular life doesn't normally plop us on a mountaintop. Hi, Rebecca, welcome. Regular life doesn't always plop us on a mountaintop or in the middle of the woods or someplace that we could meditate and be beautiful. Because transformation is hard. Transformation is tough, but it's beautiful. Childbirth is hard, but it's beautiful. And I often liken our transformation less like a butterfly popping out of the cocoon and more to the transformation in American Werewolf in London. Because that's one of the most painful werewolf transformations I think I've ever seen. And watching that is how it feels in this awakening sometimes. Watching that is more what transformation is like than this beautiful cocoon. Love and light is beautiful and all that kind of stuff, but your insistence to stay in that space and to refuse to look at anything that's not in that space will create resistance to your actual connection. You are creating a false world of love and light if you refuse to look at the shadows and if you refuse to deal with the dark. It's not easy. It's not easy. But I find it fascinating now. And I embrace it as exciting. Because when you pull yourself out of the human, when you pull yourself out into the observer, this kind of stuff just rolls off of you. Yes, it's sad. Yes, it can be horrible. But you can almost look at it from a different space. It's like, I was talking to someone the other day. When my older kids were little, I was like a kid. I was 18, 19 years old with, two little toddlers. And so when they were small, maybe I wasn't that, I guess I was in my 20s, early 20s. When they were small and they would fight and they would throw a tantrum in the store, I would be horrified. And I would react with this big thing and it would be like the end of the world and I'm a terrible mother and everybody's looking at me and I would just have this spinning, right? But my next son was born when I was in my 30s. And in my 30s, when my son would throw a temper tantrum or my son would do something, it was amusing. It was cute. Like I still had to, give him the discipline or whatever. I still had to, be the mom, but I found it much more amusing. I found those moments of, no, I'm not going to do it and whatever, much more amusing in my 30s than I did when I was in my late teens and early 20s. And in this space now of where I'm at in the awakening, I'm finding these moments much more amusing. I'm finding these obstacles much more amusing in my own life. Amusing and confusing. But I'm not allowing them to scare me off. And I'm not allowing them to create resistance purposefully by not looking at them. That is the transformation hack. Insistence creates resistance. And so by allowing the lessons to come in, by allowing the conflict to be recognized and dealt with, you push away the resistance and the abundance flows, and the universe flows, and the love flows, and what is coming towards you flows. You already have that. Bye, Cindy. I'm getting ready to sign off anyways. You already have that. All right. As Cindy said, it's about time to sign off. I want to share with you my book. This is the first copy. If you want to join my newsletter so that you get the link, please go to my website, unleashyourlight.org. There's a spot for you to put in your email address. Believe me, I do not spam you. It is all good. And these are going to retail for $9.95, the physical copy. There's also a digital copy available. This copy has spaces in it for you to write questions, for you to doodle, for you to highlight. Please read it, dog ear it, carry it around in your purse. It's got some inspirational phrases, blah, 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 all that good stuff. I love every single one of you. I'm so excited to be here every week. And I'm going to get this tech thing down, I promise. Like, this is all going to work itself out. Santa's going to bring me a new computer. I'm going to have fabulous webcam, blah, 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 all that kind of good stuff. I love you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy your weekend.